one's going to be. I'm wondering if there's going to be, you know, with the probably the float being pretty low. I'm wondering if there's going to be a big spread on this one. But overall, it actually looks pretty good, right? I mean, you know, I'd add that into the list. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's all sorts of little doohickeys here. Cores? Fuck Michael Core, right? I short this just out of... Alright, so this bad boy's actually breaking under 200 SMA. If you see here, you've actually got a gap coming over here. That's probably got to fill. You got nice pre-market action over here. I think this bad boy actually probably has... this one has a chance to fade off. Caveat on something like this, retail stocks suck to trade. Always have. Always will. But I think we added the cores. Mitch. Man, Match.com's getting messed up. You got a lot of room to kind of roll over on these things. Match.com? I mean, that's just messed up. Alright, so this one has got a caveat, right? It's going to have to stay under this 200 SMA to get going. You're already seeing some decent range on this thing. It is near pre-market lows. The key's just going to be, does it kind of hang out under the 200? Anything over the 200, you're going to have a little bit more trouble. You're going to have a little bit more trouble taking it down. So, you know, the caveat on this, always leave yourself a little note, right? Like, you know, if you need to, right? Just be... Right? Good. ICHR. Man, this stock sucks to trade, but you could probably add that to the list too. Man, there's a lot of these bad boys just busting lower. Damn, even here's getting smoked. Woo! Smoked out like Robbie Mack on prom night by the football team. Hey, what's up, Robbie? Mark, where you been? Here. Yeah, here's going to be at a weird spot. I'd probably leave that one alone. RRGB. Red Robin. Who's eating that Red Robin still? Raise your hands. A little Applebee's, a little Red Robin, a little TGI Friday. Oh, yeah. Man, I think you can add this bad boy over here. I'd add it. Caveat is restaurant actually counts as retail. Just be mindful. DXC. Actually, this one's much cleaner. This one I can get behind. The question is going to be, man, it's a monstrous company. Who knows what the range on this one's going to be? But it did get smoked out big a couple days ago. Let's see if we find that day. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see it now. Let's go back. Oh, yes. Yeah. So it must have had some news out a couple days ago. So this thing's already... It's getting a re-smoke? Man, a re-smoke is just... That's dirty. So we can go back. Yeah, I think I'd put that on the list because we know that at least a couple days ago, the range was $20 on this thing. Not saying it's going to move $20 again, right? But, you know, in general, we do know that when it drops, it does have just enough range for us to be able to trade in. So I'd add that to the list too. Man, there's all sorts of little goofies. There's almost too many companies reporting earnings today. Why can't they slow these down? Make it like a nice 10 or 15 every day. Junk. Well, Jazz could have some range. Depends if you like this type of stock, and also it's going to have probably a little bit of a spread on it. Dun 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 dun. Wendy's junk junk junk. CYOU junk. Dun 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 junk 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 junk. All right, so we'll clean this up in a hot second because we obviously added too many. Hey Stanley, what's up, baby? Let's look at the rest of you guys to see what you guys are watching. All right, somebody's asked about fit. Yeah, I think you could probably do a Fitbit on this break over this resistance over here. That's not that bad. I'd roll with that. Okay. MNK, oof. This one was all over the place yesterday, right? Gap up, pulled back. I mean, something like that, you can't even control this, right? It's not even like, usually like we like to kind of buy the pullbacks of the EMAs and let them kind of like round. This bad boy didn't even want to do that. It did actually a 1-2-3 pattern, which you don't see as often, but if you ever do see a 1-2-3 pattern intraday, they are really explosive. So like a 1-2-3 pattern, that's your 1, your 2, and your 3. It'll look like a W. They're a little bit harder to, obviously, in trading, we're lazy. Like, we just want to look at flags and, like, bullshit like that, right? This one's a little bit harder to corral because, obviously, you got to train your eyes to see it. But it is a nice pattern, and it can be explosive if you see those intraday. We just, people call them different names, but, we just call them 1-2-3 patterns. They'll look like a W for the most part. So that bastard was a little hard to catch. But, yeah, I would keep that on the list for today. Big B. Big Brad. Let's see, all day. He's got MYL. Yeah, I see what you're doing. Man, this thing trades thick, though. It does trade a little thick, but it had a nice range yesterday. Good. Go-Go. Man, Go-Go looked so promising for a second yesterday. It kind of fizzled out late in the day. Yeah, so the one thing with Go-Go to remember is there's a lot of short interest in this one. So, I mean, you're at least 50%. So that's why you get these kind of like big squeezes. When you get a stock that's got like a gap like this on earnings, and then it's got high short interest, these things can kind of squeeze like really, really aggressively. And then if you just look at the overall chart, right, it's got this kind of nice base breakout that's happening over here. So overall, you get like a couple things working out for it, and that ends up helping. So I definitely keep that on the list for a second day play. Good, Anthony. What else you got? Okay. Twilio. Yeah, I would add Twilio too as the top of the earnings lister because this thing's just got good range, so I definitely go with that. Hey, Papa Dubs, what's up? My issue with CGC is that, it's up now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This would be day 7. You're going to kind of smack into resistance. At this point, the reward to risk ratio is kind of skewed the other way just because you're up so many days in a row. So just something to kind of be mindful of when you're looking at, something like that. For me, usually kind of like days 1, 2, 3s are easier. Then when you get into like day 4, 5, 6, 7, right, you're getting more towards the RR on the short side, especially if it's just kind of running into resistance. So it's got tons of momentum. It could very well go today. It just happens to be that, at least for what I do, I can't be long in something on a 7th green day, right? It just it doesn't make rational sense to me sometimes. Yeah, the CRMD could grind higher. One thing to remember with this stock, it's hard to day trade. You can see these kind of blocky candles. You see these? These are like, these type of stocks that have these are like nearly impossible to day trade. I've noticed in the past. So just something kind of to just be mindful of. Oh, you added a little send to your list, Mr. Anthony. All right. Let's see what you got. I didn't even add that to mine. Yeah, you could definitely. Send is nice. That's a breakout to highs. That should work. XLG, huh? I'd add this send. Flag that bad boy too. XLG. You know, this is not my favorite because of the location. You know, I was looking at this pre-market. You know, because it's kind of gapping into two different resistance points. You had the old support where it broke down. And then you also have kind of multiple moving averages right there. To me, that becomes like a 50-50 toss-up. You know, when you get something that kind of thrusts into those areas, you could very well roll right over. You're already starting to see that pre-market, right? Like how it kind of tapped into the resistance spot and then started to fade off. And so that's where, you know, you have like a really, really tricky entry, I think, on something like that. So, you know, it could be something like you watch for a little bit, but look at this kind of like resistance spot over here too. If it stays under 10, like it goes back a decent ways, right? Pretty much for all of 2018. So you've got like a big level of supply there, right? So when you think of breakouts, you know, breakouts are just functions of supply and demand, right? And resistance points are areas where you have actual sellers there, right? People that have bought there in the past. And so, you know, until you hit that level a handful of times, intraday or, you know, on a daily chart, they're just raining shares on your head, right? So they're just all over you, and it gets a little bit dicey. So just something to watch. I definitely think it's probably something, you know, you could probably put on your watch list to watch and learn and stuff like that, but I don't know if it's immediately actionable. Dun, 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 dun. You guys are a little quiet today. What's going on? Well, I got Austin who? Austin, oh, member of the Wolfpack. Yeah, Twitter looks all right. I think there's a lot of there's some decent looking swings out there. Twitter could be one. You do have an easy location. You could probably put the swing stop loss right there. So that's where, you know, yeah, you could probably do, you know, Twitter. So let's just kind of get back into this and rank these. So when you have like a bunch of gappers like this, start ranking them, right? So I got Twilio at the top of the list. I'm going to put all day send on here too at the top because that thing is kind of busting out the highs. And KTR, put that back. So now we got, you know, a handful of these like DVA. I'd go with MB as like kind of number 3 on the short side. You're starting to see some decent pre-market action on this. Also Zillow. And then we got the RRGB. I'd even go with the DXC over there. That's kind of how I'd rank these bad boys, all right? Yeah, you're going to need to see a little bit more volume and some action on these things. But as always, guys, it's election, you know, post-election day. So, you know, make sure to trade, you know, tight. And the reason is that the gap on the market is just monstrous. A gap like that makes things really, really hard to kind of trade back and forth if you're just looking at straight technical analysis. So, you know, make sure like you got some plays that are moving regardless to the market. Otherwise, things are going to be, they just get a little bit tough. You know what I mean? So, as always, trade smart, trade fast. Let's go do what we do, my friends. Eric Harper, let me look, my brother. How are you? You know, I'm not sure I see the ACB on this. See the play on this. Yeah, I think Etsy may. Only if Etsy stands over this level here, you could probably take it. Otherwise, you know, you're going to have to be, it's going to be tough. So make sure you watch that 46 mark. If it gets over 46,